Donald Trump has until Monday to solve a $450 million problem. But how exactly did it get here, and how could it play out? CNN senior legal analyst and former federal and state prosecutor Elie Honig is right here with us. Well, what are we talking about? Where did this start? Where does this dollar figure come from?
Yeah, John, so let's go back to the beginning. This case is the civil lawsuit filed by the New York State Attorney General Letitia James against Donald Trump and his companies, alleging, and now having proved, that they overinflated their assets and then used that in order to get loans from banks. Now, the returned a verdict for Donald Trump. The verdict was in the amount of $355 million plus interest. You somehow did the math and backed it out, is what gets us to that $450+ million figure. Now, the Attorney General can start collecting on that as of Monday unless Donald Trump posts a bond with the court. Now, let's understand exactly what that means. There's sort of a two-step calculation going on here. First of all, a bonding company. Usually this is going to be a private company, an insurance company, or a bank. They certify to the court that if Donald Trump does not pay the total amount that he's owed after his appeal, we are good for it. We will cover him. Now, in order for them to make that promise, Donald Trump has to post collateral with the bonding company. That can be cash, that can be other assets. Now, Donald Trump has been unable to do that so far, and hence, if we get to Monday and he's not posted a bond, Letitia James can start collecting.
To be clear, the bonding companies won't give him the money because at some degree they don't think he's good for it, or they don't like the collateral he's putting up, correct?
It's a loan, essentially, yes.
Okay, so if Trump cannot pay this or post this by Monday, what happens?
So a couple things. First of all, he does still get to appeal. I've heard it said that he cannot appeal unless he posts a bond. Not true. He can still appeal. The verdict against him came from the trial court, which confusingly in New York State is called the Supreme Court. Don't ask me why.
Leave it to New York.
Right. He can still appeal the case to the appellate division and perhaps to the Court of Appeals. But the problem, if he fails to post a bond, is while he's appealing here, Letitia James, the Attorney General, she can start collecting. She can seize his bank accounts. She can start the process of trying to seize and then liquidate or sell off his properties. Now, it's not as simple as sheriffs just storm in and put up a sign and say, this is ours now, because there's other entities that have interests in these real estate holdings. There's mortgages on them. There's other shareholders. But Letitia James can start the process, if there's no bond or other intervention as of Monday, of seizing these properties.
You say our other interventions.
Yeah.
So what ways could Donald Trump get out of this?
So he's hoping or looking for any of two things to happen. First of all, Donald Trump has gone to the appellate division, the appeals court in New York, and asked them to either delay the bond or to reduce the amount. He writes in his brief that he has tried 30 different companies, and he writes that posting a full bond here is, quote, a practical impossibility. Now, the AG filed a response last night. They said, we disagree. He needs to try different ways to do it. Appeals courts do sometimes come in and reduce the amounts of bonds, sometimes substantially. The other potential development that could bail Donald Trump out here is he could get a cash infusion. Someone could come along, loan him cash. We won't necessarily know who that is. That's a private transaction. Of course, journalists are going to press on figuring out who it is. So maybe he'll get a cash infusion. People have said, well, how about his real estate? That's not going to work. He's not going to be able to sell off real estate between now and Monday. And I talked to bonding companies yesterday. They don't want real estate. It's too encumbered. It's too difficult. Not going to bail him out. The third thing, keep an eye on this. Truth Social, Donald Trump's social media company, they are likely going to go public tomorrow based on a shareholder vote. If that happens, Donald Trump owns somewhere between $2 and $4 billion, with a B, dollars of Truth Social stock. Problem is, there's some skepticism about whether it's really worth that, and he can't sell it off for 6 months unless he gets a special waiver. So maybe something about Truth Social can help him.
Bankruptcy?
Bankruptcy is a possibility. Now, bankruptcy, people need to understand, it's not a magic wand that makes every debt go away, but it would buy him time, because if he declares bankruptcy, whatever the political embarrassment might be, it would put a pause on all this collection.
The reporting is the political embarrassment of it might be too much for him.
I wouldn't bank on that.
No,
I think he'd be too embarrassed.
All right.